Have you ever felt trapped in your own thoughts? Do you often underestimate the future, regret the past, or underestimate yourself? If so, then you may be experiencing what is called overthinking. Overthinking is a bad habit that can damage your mental, physical, and emotional health. Overthinking can make you stressed, anxious, depressed, and unhappy. Overthinking can also hinder your productivity, creativity, and ability to solve problems. But how to stop overthinking? Is there an effective and practical way to control your thoughts and live a calmer, more peaceful, and meaningful life? The answer is yes. There are many ways to overcome overthinking, but one of the most powerful and proven is Stoic philosophy. Stoicism is an ancient school of philosophy taught by Greek and Roman philosophers such as Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism teaches us how to live in accordance with nature, rationality, and virtue. Stoicism also teaches us how to face difficulties, suffering, and uncertainty with wisdom, courage, and calm. In this video, I will share 10 Stoic ways to stop overthinking. These methods are based on Stoic teachings and practices that have helped millions of people over the centuries. Without further ado, let's begin. 1. Realize that you can't control everything. One of the main sources of overthinking is the desire to control everything that happens in your life. You might think that if you could plan, predict, and prevent all possible outcomes, you would feel safer and more comfortable. However, the reality is that you cannot control everything. There are many things that are out of your control, such as weather, circumstances, other people, and fate. Trying to control things you can't control will only leave you frustrated, disappointed, and stressed. Stoicism teaches us to differentiate between things we can control and those we cannot. The things we can control are our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. The things we cannot control are everything that is outside of us. Stoicism teaches us to focus on the things we can control and accept the things we cannot control calmly and without complaint. Epictetus once said, "Don't ask for everything to happen the way you want it to happen, but instead want everything to happen the way it should, and your life will flow smoothly." When you feel anxious or worried about something you can't control, remember to let it go and let nature take care of it. You can't change or stop things you can't control, but you can change or stop the way you react to them. 2. Ask yourself if your problem is really important. One of the other reasons why we often overthink is because we give too much attention and importance to things that are not really that important. We may exaggerate problems, make situations worse, or create drama out of trivial things. We may spend a lot of time, energy, and emotions on things that have little impact on our lives or those of others. Stoicism teaches us to see everything from a broader and more objective perspective. Stoicism teaches us to consider things in a larger context, such as the universe, history, and humanity. Stoicism also teaches us to consider things in smaller contexts, such as our own life and death. By doing this, we can realize that many of the things we think about are not that important or meaningful. Marcus Aurelius once said, "When you are bothered by something, ask yourself whether it will be important in a year or in 10 years or even in 20 years. If not, then throw it away and don't care." When you're feeling stressed or confused about something, ask yourself if it's really important. Would it make a difference in your life or someone else's? Will it have any effect on your happiness or virtue? Is it worth thinking about or worrying about? If not, then let it go and focus on the things that really matter. 3. Challenge your negative thoughts with logic. One of the symptoms of overthinking is negative thoughts that are repetitive and irrational. Negative thoughts are thoughts that make you feel inadequate, worthless, unlucky, or unhappy. Negative thoughts are thoughts that make you see things from a bad, pessimistic, or fatalistic perspective. Negative thoughts are thoughts that make you assume bad things, blame yourself or others, or expect the worst. Stoicism teaches us to challenge our negative thoughts with logic. Logic is a tool we can use to examine, analyze, and evaluate our thoughts. Logic is a tool we can use to distinguish between facts and opinions, between evidence and assumptions, between causes and effects. Logic is a tool we can use to discover errors, contradictions, and biases in our thinking. Logic is a tool we can use to replace negative thoughts with positive, realistic, and rational thoughts. Seneca once said, We suffer more in our imagination than in reality. When you feel stressed or frightened by your negative thoughts, challenge them with logic. Ask yourself whether your thoughts are true, fair, or useful. Ask yourself if there is any evidence, reasons, or arguments for or against your thoughts. Ask yourself if there is another way to see, understand, or solve your problem. By doing this, you can reduce the power and impact of your negative thoughts and replace them with healthier and more helpful thoughts. 4. Train yourself to live in the moment. One of the causes of overthinking is living in the past or future. Living in the past means focusing too much on things that have happened, such as mistakes, regrets, or trauma. Living in the future means focusing too much on things that haven't happened yet, such as hopes, dreams, or fears. Living in the past or future can make you miss things that are happening in the present moment, which is the only time you really have. Stoicism teaches us to train ourselves to live in the moment. Living in the moment means paying attention to, appreciating, and enjoying the things around us, such as people, objects, or events. Living in the moment means not worrying too much about what has happened or will happen, but rather focusing on what is happening. Living in the moment means being less attached to the outcome, but rather enjoying the process. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you must, with the same tools of common sense that now regulate you for the present." When you feel disturbed or anxious by the past or future, train yourself to live in the moment. The way to do this is by doing meditation, breathing, or mindfulness. Meditation is a practice that can help you calm your mind, body, and soul. Breathing is a technique that can help you regulate your emotions, stress, and energy. Mindfulness is an attitude that can help you realize, accept, and be grateful for everything that is inside and outside you. 5. Stop comparing yourself to others. One of the things that can trigger overthinking is comparing yourself to other people. Comparing yourself to others can make you feel dissatisfied, envious, or inferior. Comparing yourself to others can make you forget your own worth, strengths, and potential. Comparing yourself to others can make you ignore your own differences, uniqueness, and beauty. Stoicism teaches us to stop comparing ourselves to others. Stoicism teaches us to respect, cherish, and love ourselves. Stoicism teaches us to measure ourselves by our own standards, not those of others. Stoicism teaches us to compete with ourselves, not with others. Epictetus once said, "Don't envy those who seem to live happily. Don't imitate them. Who knows what they experience inside and what they experience outside? Focus on yourself. Be the best you can be." When you feel unhappy or insecure because you compare yourself to others, stop and have a conversation that you are you, and no one is like you. You have your own strengths and weaknesses, you have your own goals and challenges, you have your own path and destiny. You don't need to be someone else, you just need to be yourself. 6. Practice gratitude for what you have. One thing that can prevent overthinking is to practice being grateful for what you have. Practicing gratitude means recognizing, appreciating, and expressing gratitude for the good things in your life, such as your health, family, friends, work, hobbies, or nature. Practicing gratitude means not complaining, moaning, or wanting things you don't have, but rather appreciating the things you do have. Stoicism teaches us to practice gratitude for what we have. Stoicism teaches us to see things from a positive and optimistic point of view. Stoicism teaches us not to take for granted, abuse, or waste the things we have, but rather to care for, utilize, and enjoy the things we have. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has little who is poor, but the man who wants more." When you feel dissatisfied or unhappy because you don't have something, remember to practice being grateful for what you have. The way to do this is to write, say, or share the things you are grateful for every day, both big and small. By doing this, you can improve your mood, well-being, and happiness. 7. Practice virtue in your actions. One thing that can reduce overthinking is practicing virtue in your actions. Practicing virtue means acting in accordance with good moral, ethical, and social principles, such as honesty, justice, courage, patience, or generosity. Practicing virtue means not only thinking or speaking good things, but also doing good things. Practicing virtue means not only caring about yourself, but also caring about others. Stoicism teaches us to practice virtue in our actions. Stoicism teaches us that virtue is the highest goal and source of happiness in life. Stoicism teaches us that virtue is something we can develop, practice, and improve through our daily actions. Stoicism teaches us that virtue is something we can demonstrate, share, and spread to others. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Never stop trying to be a good person." What would your life be like if you did everything you know you should do? When you feel confused or unsure about what you should do, remember to practice virtue in your actions. The way to do this is to ask yourself what a good, wise, or noble person would do in your situation. Then, do just that. By doing this, you can improve your character, integrity, and dignity. 8. Practice being brave and assertive. One thing that can help you overcome overthinking is to practice being brave and assertive. Being brave and assertive means facing your fears, risks, or challenges with confidence and determination. Being bold and assertive means taking action, making a decision, or stating your opinion clearly and firmly. Being bold and assertive means being less hesitant, passive, or submissive when you deal with problems, conflict, or change. Stoicism teaches us to realize that life is full of difficulties, uncertainties, and changes, which require courage and determination from us. Stoicism teaches us to view fears, risks, or challenges as opportunities to learn, grow, and contribute. Stoicism teaches us to regard courage and decisiveness as our duty and honor, which can increase our dignity and freedom. Seneca once said, "There is nothing great in life except courage." When you feel too afraid or too weak to face something, practice being brave and assertive. You can do this by identifying, acknowledging, and working through your fears, rather than avoiding or denying them. You can also do this by taking initiative, taking responsibility, and committing to achieving your goals, rather than procrastinating or giving up. By doing this, you can reduce your doubts and dissatisfaction, and increase your self-confidence and pride. 9. Practice being patient and flexible. One thing that can prevent you from overthinking is practicing being patient and flexible. Being patient and flexible means refraining from reacting excessively, impulsively, or emotionally to things that do not match your hopes, desires, or plans. Being patient and flexible means adapting or changing according to the situation, conditions, or reality you face. Being patient and flexible means not being overly tense, rigid, or stubborn when you encounter obstacles, mistakes, or failures. Stoicism teaches us to realize that life is full of irregularities, imperfections, and unpleasantness, which require patience and flexibility from us. Stoicism teaches us to regard things that do not go according to our will as tests, lessons, or gifts from nature. Stoicism teaches us to consider patience and flexibility as skills and habits that can increase our calm and happiness. Epictetus once said, "Don't ask for everything to happen the way you want it to happen, but instead want everything to happen the way it should, and your life will flow smoothly." When you feel too frustrated or too attached to something, practice being patient and flexible. You can do this by taking deep breaths, counting to 10, or doing something that calms your mind, such as walking, praying, or listening to music. You can also do this by looking at the positive, alternative, or creative side of your problem, rather than seeing the negative, limited, or dead-end side. By doing this, you can reduce your anger and disappointment and increase your tolerance and optimism. 10. Practice being wise and happy. One thing that can help you overcome overthinking is to practice being wise and happy. Being wise and happy means knowing and doing what is good, right, and beneficial to yourself and others. Being wise and happy means having and following principles, values, and goals that accord with your nature, rationality, and virtue. Being wise and happy means being less dependent on external things, such as money, power, or fame, but more valuing internal things, such as knowledge, character, or contentment. Stoicism teaches us to realize that wisdom and happiness are the highest and final goals of our life, which we can achieve by Stoic living. Stoicism teaches us to view wisdom and happiness as the result of our choices, actions, and attitudes, not of circumstances, luck, or other people. Stoicism teaches us to consider wisdom and happiness as our rights and responsibilities. Seneca once said, "Happiness is harmony between what you think, what you say, and what you do." When you feel too confused or too unhappy with your life, practice being wise and happy. You can do this by reflecting, evaluating, and improving your thoughts, feelings, and actions so that they conform to Stoic standards. You can also do this by pursuing, achieving, and enjoying things that bring you a sense of satisfaction, peace, and happiness, such as studying, creating, or socializing. By doing this, you can reduce your confusion and unhappiness and increase your clarity and happiness. By applying these methods in your life, you can live more calmly, rationally, and happily. Hopefully these methods can be useful for you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have questions, criticism, or suggestions, please write them in the comments column. Thank you for watching, and see you again in the next video.